Good evening, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me good. First of all, I want to say hello. I have my overlay because I wanted to have this when we talk about the background story. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Raxus Primer, and I am mostly a game or variety streamer. I stream variety of games and a variety of things. But thankfully to the community have graced me with so much points, so the challenge went through the roof. Oberon, I recognize that hood, indeed. And we're gonna continue also with a lot of stuff. We're gonna go into the places where Oberon is and where the story begins. So let me raise a little bit of liquor, so to say, for the beginning of this. Yeah. Love it. Now, before we begin the story about Oberon, we need to talk about the place where he is, so to say, and the world around it, so to say. So let's go into intermission, and I will show you. First off, we have this, which is... You need to get to tell your story. Is it that dark? It's kind of dark, yeah. This is the world. Not particularly the world per se, but this is just a part of the world per se. This is actually the country where Oberon was born. To be precise, he was born around this area right here. I had to really go deep into where he was, and I did a little bit of research, and there is the place to be best in. I also have written down and translated with the help of Google Translate, so it's going to be a little bit wonky here and there, of where and how and so on. What I'm showing you guys right now, or should we say, let me check it here. Right now we have, let's see, need to switch over to this one, I believe. You can at least see it, but apparently nothing more. Which will do this, and I need to put in the display. By the way, don't see your mouse pointers on. By the way, don't see your mouse pointer on the. That's weird. Let's see if I can fix it. Let's see, not Windows picture, but let's put in. I forgot to put in a display capture. We can actually see the display. Whoops! Now you see everything, and not me. Now you can see everything that's going on right here. Now you see it. Good. Cursor. Now here we have the perfect one. Now you can see better. So here in Lövedal, or Lovedale, something like that. Don't really know the much specific when it comes to there. But we're going to be talking about this place in particular, which is actually the story begins. So, yeah. Now you're going to be seeing a little bit, at least 3 part of this, where we're going to be talking about. So first off, we have Valaris. This is the whole country of Valaris. where the story that we're going to be telling this stream is where we're going to be talking about. Specifically in Loverdale and in this particular city, the main city, but it will be a little bit later on. So for now, we're going to go into Valaris and more of the so-called generalization of what Valaris is. So Valaris is an important player on the world stage. The country has considerable economic and military muscle, and several times in world history has made its power known to its neighbors. The kingdom is ruled by a monarch, and the ruling family that sits on the throne in it is the Blood Grip House that has been on the throne for over 300 years. Now sitting is the Dowager Queen Katarina Bloodgrip. Valaris is held back by the fact that it is a divided kingdom where the monarch distributes areas to the nobility. So it's kind of like how England was back in the day. Yes, to the nobility, who then gain political game. There have also been regular wars between noble families within the kingdom. In short, Valaris' domestic politics are anything but simple. Especially since the queen does not have an obvious successor to the throne. So all the noble families are in full career to advance their positions in the increasingly opulent soup of intrigue that settles over the giant kingdom of Valaris. In terms of, isn't the name Blodgripan? I don't know. In terms of foreign policy, the Coldlands, or Sjödländer, are the great hereditary enemy from the north. Coldland bastards in them. Yes. Regardless of whether you are folk or a salvation in Valaris, it is more the rule than the exception that you have lost a relative to the Coldlands. So, doesn't matter who, you probably have a relative that have lost something to the Coldlands harsh people. More than accepting the rule and lost to the real Coldlands on the north. The constant slaving and plundering raids of the Coldland fiends means that Valerian always keeps his bow and axe close at hand. The traders who deal with the Coldland devils are viewed with distrust and skepticism. A Valerian noble would never marry a Coldland devil. If this were to happen, it would bring great shame to his entire clan, or family, however you want to see it. Historically, at least, once per generation, regular wars has been fought between the Valaris and the flea-bitten Coldlanders. Apart from the larger wars, skirmishes, raids, and local noble conflicts are commonplace between the countries. The Coldland slave raids are particularly frowned upon. Harsh? They are the ones that doesn't allow us to make them slaves. Exactly. Among business travelers, the country is notorious for its taxation rules. In addition to the paying taxes to the crown, when traveling into the country, each duke and earl is allowed to collect taxes from the merchant travelers if they travel through their domains. Thus, as a foreign trader, one would prefer to trade in goods in a border town to avoid all this local taxation. As soon as they travel into a new country, these border towns where foreign business travels prefer to anchor are called free towns, which the crown has given special permits for trade with foreign countries. The crown can also sell special crown monopolies to traders who then avoid paying taxes while traveling from country to country. Or county to county, sorry. These letters of monopoly are very valuable and unpopular with the nobilities. So it feels like this is like a powder keg that is ready to burst. That is the country we will begin the story. But now we will focus our attention to this particular area, the county of Lövedal, or Lovedale, or something like that. Lovedale is a mixture of high mountains, deep forest, and fertile plains. In the central parts, large pastures spread out where the famous Lovedale blood horses grazes, a large lake, Alma. Alma is the religion of Valaris, where it's more of the point of being like Christianity in the real time, you know. And that is also called the Alma Lake. Is found and is known for its infinite depth, cold water, and large lake wonder. The silver brim in the south of the duchy, there is a larger sandy delta where the river Sunnen, right over here, flows out. The long, shallow south coast of the domain makes sea fishing with shallow boats common, but all deep keel trade is futile. For traveling up the Sunnen River, transshipment to river barges is required. The river Sunnen is also treacherous and full of waterfalls. Yeah, I know, Yinso. So that is a little bit of knowledge for you guys for the area that we are going to be talking more about. So without further ado, let's begin the story. It all takes place actually at a summer's day. Oberon, who are just 10 years of age, are having his birthday today. His father, who is not that old, but he is going towards the older years. He is very so-called typical of Valerian. He's a noble. He's not a noble, but he's sort of like he acts like a noble without being a fool about it. He's like very proud of himself. He's very Valerian-esque. And his father is always on business. He's always traveling, and he's always, when he's home, locked up in the basement because he does research down there, as he says. He needs alone time. So he's been a little bit of a distant father towards Oberon. But to compensate that, he had his mother. And his mother was not some calm, like ordinary peasant girl. No, she was actually from the Coldlands. I know. Oh no, someone from the Coldlands, no! But here's the thing. This particular village where they live in is not on any map. It's like this village doesn't really exist. And what happened then was, today... No. Let me track back a little bit and go talk a little bit more about Oberon's mother. Oberon's mother, as I said, is a Coldlands, but she is a shield maiden. She's one of the most beautiful women in the world, according to many Coldlanders, and even some Valarian, though. But she was also feared on the battlefield as the shield maiden that could make the enemy just piss themselves by just looking at them. That's how feared she was, but also so beautiful, you know? And she was strong. She was like a strong, mommy, you know? Now, today was Oberon's birthday. So what happened then was, unfortunately, no one seemed to actually recognize that it was actually his birthday today. So, Oberon, who lives on a big farm, that has cows, horses, a big field, several fields, and out on the field is a big oak tree. In the middle of the wheat and corn and such, there are a big oak tree. He usually sits there when he wants to be a little bit alone, or he's sad, he needs to think, the normal stuff. So, he was just sitting there, underneath his tree, just thinking, like dreaming away, like children usually do. Like, they dream of different things, they dream of adventure, they dream about, like, saving damsels in distress and stuff like that. But also in this oak tree lived a squirrel that more or less was Oberon's only company outside of his own parents, or parent, if you want to be like that. And he started to talk with the squirrel like normally, like he would talk to any other friend. And since he didn't have any friend among the village people, they kind of either ignored or just kept away from Oberon. But they always came when it was like parties, when it was like good times, like autumn festival, stuff like that. But he never interacted with Oberon, only with his parents, which was for him a little bit strange. Even though he was a 10-year-old, he thought it was a little bit strange. But in the end, he didn't really care about it. If they didn't want to have a relationship with him, he thought like maybe I shouldn't bother them. So he kept himself. He was sitting under the oak, as I said, talking to the squirrel. But then all of a sudden, kids, or more like bullies, started to approach them more and more and started to taunt him. Like, oh, here is Oberon, who is the most loneliest little boy ever. Like, they started to taunt him. They started to talk about a lot of different things that wasn't even true. But then the bullies saw the squirrel and started to mock the squirrel, but also Oberon for being friendly with the squirrel, because it was just an animal, according to them. So the bullies picked up stones and throw it at the squirrel, and unfortunately they hit him in the head, and it fell over limp and died. It was then Oberon not lost his mind, but he lost his cool, so to say. So, all of a sudden, not a beam per se, but like a push from his hand pushed away the bullies. And like, he never thought this was before, and more people heard. It was a loud bang almost. So many townspeople came and started to see what was going on. They see a lot of the children was being like crying. Oberon was just looking there like scared himself. And his mother, but also his father came out. And they rushed to Oberon and was like, "Are you okay? Are you alright?" His mother was really a little bit frantic. She was a little bit overprotective of her son. And like, I don't know what's happening. But then Oberon saw the smile on his father's face. And it was like, it is a miracle. It is a miracle. He has the gift. He has the gift. I knew it was going to happen one day. I just didn't know it would be so soon. And he turned to the townspeople, hugging his son. And Oberon, it was like, what is going on? Like, my father has never hugged me before. What is going on? And he turns to the townspeople like, my son is showing proof of magic. Isn't this wonderful? Like, he deserves a hip hip hooray. And the townspeople, like, instead of being angry like they were before, were like celebrating it. They were celebrating that he now had magic. Like, Oberon was still in shock, and his mother was very overprotective and was like, wonder what's going on. Oh, this is amazing though, right? So, what happened with Oberon's father took him with him towards the house, and he talked to him a little bit about what happened. You're showing signs of magic. And that was like, oh my god. Shows signs of magic, what do you mean? So, started to talk about a little bit more what magic is, what it is, and he also told that he, Oberon's father, was also a magician. Or a wizard, if you want to say it better. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be like my dad? He seems like a powerful wizard? Like, he was so excited as well. It was then he said this. I'm gonna take you down to the basement to my research. Oberon was almost out of static. Did his father really say he was gonna take him down to the freaking basement where he would never was allowed before? Oh my god! This was big. That was really big for him. So they walked down. It was very dark. Light started to begin lighting up the room. When they walked down the stairs, he got the shock of his life. On shelves, or even bookshelf, there were jars. There were jars of brains inside them. So Oberon was scared out of his life. Like, oh my god, the brains! I was like, Later, like, oh my god. And his father told him, like, don't be scared. It's normal. Then he started to talk a little bit more about what kind of magic he does. He is, I don't know the English termination of it, but he is an hex master. He conjures a lot of hexes that can control people and make them forget things and stuff like that. Oberon, who was already 10, even then understood that like controlling someone, a witch master. Yeah, if we can say that, a witch master. And he said, Dad, this is wrong. You can't control people. That's wrong. My mom says it is very wrong to do so. And of course his dad got a little bit annoyed by it. And he started to say, like, just how you think someone who manipulates someone used to. If I haven't manipulated this and that people, we wouldn't have this, we would be found, we would be in debt, blah 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 blah. You know, the typical manipulative way to tell that his magic is the one thing that helped them to get to this point. But Oberon, no, this is wrong. You don't control people, that is wrong. So he's like, I'm gonna tell Mom. So he ran up the stairs, not followed by his own father. So he runs up the stairs and yells after his mom. And she comes and he tells him what his father said and what he has down there. And his mother is mortified. So she says she's gonna go down and talk to him. This is wrong. So she went down. You can hear the yelling between two people, his mother and his father. But then you hear magic. And it goes completely quiet down there. There's complete quiet. Then all of a sudden you start to hear slow footstep going up the stairs. Slow upstairs. And then we see Oberon's mom coming up first with a blank expression in her face. You can't see emotions, you can't see anything. She was being controlled. She was being controlled by Oberon's father. And his father said this: bad boys need to be punished. Then said to his wife, the father said to his wife, punish your son violently. So that's what she did. She beat Oberon up to a pulp the first time. And he gave Oberon an ultimatum that you're gonna be learning my trade in magic, or I'm gonna be making sure that your mother will be hurting you every time you get enough healed enough so you can walk normal again. And of course, even so, Oberon had faith in his mother that she could break it, that she could stop him. So he defied his father. And unfortunately, this kept going for around a week before an Oberon, crying, told his father that he will be taking the trade of going around the Witchmaster route of magic. And of course, his father was ecstatic. He was happy with that. Now, you see, was that really so hard? So then physicians, or apothecary, came, healed Oberon as much as he did. Then he just needed to wait. But Oberon, he could not stand this injustice. Even though he was 10, it was still an injustice. He needed to seek help. So what he did, when he was good enough to travel, even though he was still a little bit in pain, he started to slowly and steady walk towards the pantry and started to put food in a knapsack, because he's going to be traveling either far or it's going to be treacherous. Even at that point, he was a smart kid. He needed to think a little bit. Plus, he was a lonely kid. He had a lot to think about. But here comes one thing. When he came out of the pantry, he saw a shadow standing through the door between the hall and the kitchen. And there stood his mother. Still a blank slate in her face. Oberon thought that this is over. I got caught, I'm gonna be beaten again. But then she walked towards Oberon. Oberon was waiting for the big beatdown, as he has gotten over the few weeks, or over the week. But she didn't do anything. What she did instead is that she took off a necklace and then put it in his palm of his hand, and you can see a single tear run down her face before she turns around and walk away. He could not let this opportunity slip, so he closed the door and started to run out of the village. A few hours later, he was still on the big road. He was still almost running when he could and rested when he needed to. He then started to hear voices. he started to hear voices from the road, and even dogs were barking. They were out after him. He needed to move fast. So that's what he did. He didn't stop. He kept going through village after village. He tried to do anything he could to be avoiding any kind of interaction, because at this very moment, who could he trust? Who could he even trust with this? He knew that he needs to at least get to a big city, maybe the main city itself, to even get a chance to talk to like a general, to anyone that can like send troops to this location. So what happened then? Grueling weeks of walking, stopping for only just a few hours until he continued. His food, after like a 3/4 of the road, was then out. He had no more food, and he still had a long way to go. He was determined to get to the big main city. So that was his goal. He was going towards the big city of Varisia. Now, Oberon is at the gates, so let's switch over to intermission to talk a little bit about Varisia. Varisia is this city right here. You might see a little bit glimpse of it. And I also have written down what Varisia is. Varisia, also known as the city under the mountain, the crown city, the capital city. This city is ruled directly by the crown, and here the crown court is held in the Grand Palace. The Great Palace is the city's largest building, with its pinnacles and towers looming over the city, with the high mountain Högheten in the background, the high mountains in the background. The palace has been expanded many times. Since it was a paltry defense tower 350 years ago, the city is located where the source of the Sunan River gushes from deep beneath the Mount, I guess. The city is built in terraces where finer districts means higher up, and poor districts spread out the plain below. Many mills and hammer mills are powered from the rapids which flow down the mountain. It is rarely quiet in the city, and those who like the peace of the forest can easily panic from insomnia. Let's see if we can. After a week in the city, the majority of all trade takes place via the Sunan River towards the coast. Some traffic takes place via the roads in all directions. The city and its surrounding domains are very well populated. Census attempts have been made but the expenses for paper, ink, and scribes were unjustifiably high, and corruption meant that the figures that came out were clearly manipulated. Oh my god. I'm sitting here sweating already. I need to drink something. My god, my throat is getting parched. Water, wrong throat. Sorry about that. Oi, sorry. Oh my god. So we are actually by the city by now, which I didn't know would actually be like this early, really. So, without further ado, let's go back to the story. Because now we are outside of the main city. Hold on. So, we are now outside the cities of the main city, Varisia. And here it gets a little bit complicated. He needs to get inside to see a general of some sort, some military personnel, and with a little bit of sneakiness here and there. Luckily, for being a 10-year-old kid, he can actually be unseen, which was a good thing in this. So now he was trying to like ask around for directions towards getting to see a general. And luckily, after a little while, he get to the point of seeing, or to the barracks where the military personnel are. And he started to talk. I need to talk to a general. I need to talk to a general. I need to talk to someone. I need to, like, he's almost going into a panic attack. And for his luck, there was actually a general that was pure of heart, should I say, that saw Oberon cries for help while the military personnel tried to calm the kid down or tried to dismiss him. So he took him up to his office, was actually up in one of the towers in the barracks. That was kind of quite high up, should we just say. So he told Oberon, please, tell me what is your distress. So he started from the very beginning. He talked about the village and its village name. I don't have any name for it, but the village name. And he started to talk about what his father has done, what he has in his, like, possession. He talked about his mother beating him, but he felt like it wasn't in her control to stop herself. And it was like, oh my god. But he also talked about the village people that might still be hunting him. He doesn't know what's going on or why they're hunting him. And the general, by his credit, he listened. He standed up, hold his hands behind his back, and started to think. And Oberon sat there quiet, watched the man, and he said, then he walked over to Oberon, the man, the general, and like put his hand on his shoulder, and he said this: do you take me for an utter fool? And Oberon was like, what? So without him even realizing it, the general grabs Oberon by the collar of the shirt that he has on and says, do you think I am such a belligerent idiot to think there is anything out there? So he, and the consequences for lying, he hauled Oberon outside a window, and this was like several meters in the air. Oberon grabbing hold of the general's arm, trying to plead for his life, trying to like, I am telling the truth. And the general said, you should not tell lies. And he had heard those words before, precisely before, because there was one time when Oberon's dad scolded him for something he didn't even do. And at that point, Oberon knew that this very general was not himself per se anymore. He was controlled. So the general, seeing how scared he was, took him and threw him inside and said, I am putting you in prison until I decide what to do with you. So Oberon, still at 10 years of age, was thrown into prison for lying to an officer. False grounds though, but since he was the general and this was just some riffraff that he had listened to, general hold the higher vote. Yeah, hold on. So he sat in the prison for around a week. He had food, he ate food, he was healthy and bright, until it was time to move the prisoners. And of course Oberon was on that part as well. And since the military personnel that was gonna be transporting these to prison, and probably with Oberon's luck, maybe back to his father again. So luckily, luck was on his side, because on the prison transferred, someone was gonna be transporting a known criminal in the city, and his gang was gonna be springing out of the prison transport. But they jumped the gun and they started to do a massive fight in the courtyard already. Luckily for Oberon, the personnel took pity on him, so he didn't have his shackles on him. So during the scuffle, he ran away. He ran into the city to be lost. He roamed the city, not knowing what to do. He couldn't trust anyone. So what happened then was, he became a street kid. He became a street kid on the street, begging for any sort of coin so he could go get some food. He had some problems with some of the local gangs that was giving him a hard time. They didn't do anything too rash, but they made sure that he either pays or he stays out of the district, so to say. And of course they had the rich district, which then made him like he needs to back out further, you know. So what happened then was, through the days he begged on the street, he tried to get food, he tried to get like money to buy food, and sometimes he even got food from people. What happened then, one fateful, I don't know, he was not on a mix of the road. He was actually maybe a year into being a street kid. He started to really lose weight. It wasn't that hard yet, but it was getting there, so to say. For those, he was still a good kid, so even though he got a hold of food, he shared with the other street kids that he got a contact with. Unfortunately, some of them either died or some of them moved away. Some of them even got old enough to become something, like store attendant or something like that. But Oberon was still left behind. Then, one day, a year after he became a street kid, he was begging for food, and he got in contact with a lesser noble, Yes, someone who was a son to someone who has not much power, but a little bit of power, so to say. And this lesser noble had, of course, a posse, and a posse of people. And of course, as it always is, you know, they started to mock Oberon, which he was full known that people do. So he tried his best to ignore them, while they said so much horrendous things about him, about his mother, about his father. The father bit he didn't really care about, but the mother, that really struck him, because he missed her so deeply. And of course, it didn't stop there. They tried to hurt Oberon because they ignored him. That's not something you're supposed to do, you know, because you being in nobility and all. So, out of fear, not me, but Oberon flinged his hand up again and magic shot out. But it killed the lesser noble. The rest of the posse, they ran away. Oberon, who now had killed someone, he was scared. He was really in deep trouble. So he delved deeper into the slums to make sure that he got away from everything, from the nobility that probably would be hunting him down now. He was in hiding for the next 6 months until it started to die down. Like, they didn't know, they couldn't find him. There wasn't really much of a reward, because apparently you find out that the nobility who wanted him found wanted to do this secretly. They couldn't find anywhere he went. They searched through whole slums, but Oberon was able to hide from all of them. Luckily, it was pure luck that he was able to even hide from them. What happened then was this. When it finally died down, he started to lose more and more weight. Then another 6 months passed by, and Oberon was now, he was just skin and bones. He was just skin and bones. You can literally see how, almost see the skin being attached to the bone. So undernourished was he. He couldn't speak. He couldn't really, almost had no strength to even lift his head. This was the day he thought he's gonna die. He'd been living on the street for 2 years, not knowing what to do. He thought that this was the end. Which means only one thing. Death is the end. Then all of a sudden, he saw someone who looked at Oberon and said, just casually, "You can use magic, can't you?" And that activated like a flight or fight response. So he tried to run away, but since he felt threatened, he used magic again towards this person. But this person evaded. He just redirected the magic somewhere else. And at that point, where Oberon just fell to the ground, unconscious. Okay, now we just go to intermission, because we need to really... Oh my god. Okay. Oh. Need to stretch a little bit. Hopefully I was able to really go into like the deepness to it all. Oh, we are now at the point where he will meet someone that will help him. It will help him deeply. But as I said, we need to breathe a little bit. Okay. So what do you guys think in chat? Has the translation been good? Or has it been like stuff that you guys might like, wait a minute, this and that doesn't make any sense? You're more than welcome to tell me, and I will be answering the best as I can. Man, we've already been doing an hour. God damn, we are actually soon very, very close towards the beginning of where the Larp began. Yeah. Wait, hold on, let me see if everything is working. Working. That one works. Working. Everything works. I am so glad that it actually works. I am getting sweaty. And I've already taken a shower. I'm getting sweaty again. I am so glad that we are able to do this. Thanks to most majority of my channel producers howling, and thanks so much to Lucy, who's been helping a lot with this. Mahil and Yinso have also been contributed to it. And here we are with this. It's very nice to look more into this, you know? Everything here is working good. Yes. Good. Okay. It's a lot to speak about, you know? But hey, it is worth it in the end, in my opinion. Now, we will continue from where we were before. Whew. Okay. Yes. Now, Oberon wakes up. But he is not knowing where he is. Like, he had been put back to normal, so he is skinny still, but he isn't skinny like he was before. And he was in a room of some sort. Something doesn't make sense. Like, he's in a very fancy room, very fancy bed, very soft bed at that. Why is he here? Is a question that going through his mind. He don't know what's going on. Then a voice is saying something. You are in my tower. Oberon, fast, moved to the side and see someone watching over him. A tall person. He has a semi-big beard. He is pretty tall. He has red robes. And he has a staff, indicating that he seems like he is a wizard as well. And since Oberon has one interaction with one, still very afraid, he kind of screams. And then the old man says, well, that's rude. That is pretty rude of you, you know, since I was the one that helped you out of there. Oberon was then thinking, like, help me? What do you mean? So then the old man started to talk. And he talked about what he did. He helped him get the magic inside of him under control. Because right now it was like rapid out like a stream almost. And he didn't know what to do. So he helped him by making sure that it was contained enough for him to help Oberon better. So what happened then was, he then said to Oberon this: you need to rest. I know this is a lot for you to think about here. You are in a new place. You're in a place where, yeah, let's just say that it doesn't look really good, does it? But know when I say this, you are safe here. No one will come and hurt you. No one will come here. I will not hurt you. You are safe here. Oberon, a little bit hesitant by what he said, but he also got a little bit emotional at that. He somehow felt like this person is someone he can actually trust. He's not someone that tries to chase him away. So what happened then was, he started to gain more of his strength. He also found out that it's also where he is. He's inside a tower. A tower of apparently this old man's making. And he has a stewardess that helps him with different tasks, with different sort of treatments and other stuff like that the wizard doesn't really want to do. He was a dwarf, and his name was Brom. Nothing more, nothing less. But what Oberon didn't know is that this old man had taken an interest to Oberon. Even though Brom said this, you don't need to worry. He is actually more kind, and he's very kind and he's very thoughtful when you don't know him. And of course, the old man slapped Brom's back. Stop it. So the master, or the master of the tower, should we say, he started to talk to Oberon. And he started to talk a little bit more about the magic and the magic nature. And what is the magic for? And he saw Oberon as a potential of magic. Someone who is unfortunate to become someone's apprentice in his eyes. Oberon was a little bit hesitant, but he knew that for this to not happen again, he needs to control his power. Don't worry, we are soon closing the ending of this story. Not this story, but this very particular beginning, so to say. So what happened after that, he was a little bit hesitant when he said apprentice, if he wanted to become his apprentice. Of course, it was like a big deal. Like, he never done that before. Like, why him? Like, why? So the old man did indeed talk about different stages, why he should have done it, when, can begin now, or what is it that you wish for right now. Oberon thought a bit, and he thought about his mother. His mother was still under control of that asshole. He needs to go and save her. But as the master provenly continued to say, with magic you will be able to find a way to break this curse that you say your mother has. But you need to train. You need to train to become a great wizard one day so you can take down your father. So, he agreed to become his apprentice. So from here on out, we're gonna call Oberon's master like Oberon's master. We're not gonna be emphasizing on the word, no name or anything. We're just gonna go deep into where we are in the story and such. So now begins the gruesome training of him becoming an what's it called? Oh my god. Whew. Sorry. I am getting tired. This is so good, and this is really draining. I'm really sorry. We're actually soon done, so now began the grueling training. Years and years and years of training. But it looked almost like he wasn't doing... doing the training of his apprentice. And Oberon's master was always the patient one. He always tried to be fair, but he needed to emphasize that, like, books are good for particularly a lot of things. But book can't give you the experience that you need on the outside world. So when he wasn't training with his master, he was recommended highly to do what's it called? Field trips a lot. What don't you learn when you're out there in the open, he usually say. So what happened then was, several years passed, with clear shown of let's see. Sorry, I'm just thinking at the same time. The gruesome training was almost more of a survival game, so to say, for him to try to survive in the forest, for example, so he can actually use his skill to good use. Oberon's master was very, not traditional one. He wasn't really into like textbooks. He needed to show like magic can be used, and magic can be used on many different ways. To use your fantasy for it, you need to think fast. So that's what he did. He trained his apprentice to become more faster, but also more, a little bit more intelligent as well. So what then happened? He started to do a lot of different things inside of Varisia, but also outside. He traveled a lot with his master, and Oberon also went out to the slums families, taking his saved up money and make sure that they had a very wonderful Christmas. And I mean everyone. Now, let's see over there. The Academy is a place in Varisia, not in Varisia, but in Valaris, where you can actually go and get more knowledge. Everywhere. And what happened then after that, Oberon's master never liked how they did the... What's it called again? I don't remember. Ah! Where were I? Where were we? We were in... Right. Yes, okay. So, being outside of the city was also okay, because the tower was actually in the slums. Weird, but he has used concealment magic to maybe so no one can see the tower. So what happened then? He also put, let's see, out, should we say, that Oberon's master, he hates the books in Academy, because that's what all they are. Yes, they may contain a lot of knowledge, but what they are is freaking monstrous. Yeah. So that's how we went by, like, for almost, let's see, 15 years? Yeah. Maybe even 16, maybe. I need to think a little bit here. What we also have... So, through traveling, he of course gathered a lot of treasures, and he made sure to always save the treasure inside his own coffer that he has in the freaking his own room. Oberon's master and steward, they know about what happened and who the father is, and they can't do anything about it. That's the problem, really. So what then happened? I think it was around like 13 years of training, with of course failures here and there to help you up. Sorry for that. We of course have later years where the red dragons came by. Oberon was outside. He was going to find some mushroom for his sick master. So he met not the Varisian guard, but people of the Red Dragon clan. And they helped each other to eradicate the local wolves. What then happened was that they wanted him to join the Red Dragons. They needed someone like him. And like, it was amazing offer, but I can't leave. I have a sick master. So what happened then? Okay, I said what happened then all the fucking time. But then what happened was this. Hold on. Oh boy, oh boy. What was it again? I am so confused right now. I had everything planned in my head. Right. So, they wanted to come and visit this wizard so they can actually, well, maybe take a look. They have a physician by themselves, so maybe they can help. So, of course they didn't take him to the tower because it was a secret. So they teleported them from there to the room, had everything that they needed, except one thing, a specific root that helps with the expulsion of the demon aura, so to say. What then happened was this. Oh my god, why am I repeating words? Seriously. Oh. They knew where to find it, so they decided to trek out on an adventure to find Hi Moss, I hope you're doing good. Thank you so much for the sub. It's your little outfit. Yeah, well, the top bit at least. So they took off to find this very mushroom, or herb, so to say. And what happened was that they actually found a guardian of this specific herb and was fighting them for survival. Well, unfortunately we don't have it here. And with it all, in the end, they managed to beat the freaking guardian that was guarding the place. They got the mushroom and herb, and they went back to the master's room, and they gave him the medicine to be able to expel this aura from his body. And Oberon was so grateful to the Red Dragons, the clan Red Dragons. They are humans and different kind of people that hunt monsters. And they wanted Oberon to think over and come with them. And after many back and talk with his master agreed that you need to strike out on your own as well, to find out more about this, because you are getting stronger and stronger, and soon you might be called upon for trial. And that means facing the magic guardian. So yeah. So what happened then was, after 5 years, he was now 25 years old. He's been with the Red Dragons for over 5 years. Helped them in expedition, research, anything they come up with, the runes, etc, etc. And what happened then? After 5 years, they finally get the get-go to go to a little rural village that been lost to time, so to say. It's inbreeding and a lot of different stuff they may not be able to talk about, because according to many religious people of Alma, they believe that the body of Alma is there. That is actually there in the freaking... Let's see. Well, back in the day, it was kind of rural, you know? They believe that the Alma's body, the deity herself, was laying in that rural village. No one had talked about that village in forever. Yeah, apparently there was a lot of inbreeding. When I talked to people about it, it was like, yep, there's a lot of inbreeding, like a lot of cousin marrying cousins, some people marrying there. Like, so you fled there from your home place and lived there for X amount of years. So I don't think you were part of the inbreeding sort, okay? But it was a lot of inbreeding was happening in the village. Yeah, but they were the majority of the village people back then. Sorry to say this, but they were. Anyway. Going through further and further down the road. Yeah, down the road. They packed the bags and they moved over to the little row of wares called Brig. And here is where the Larp event's happening. Now here comes a point that I really want to be looking into a little bit. We can talk about the first Larp per se. Nothing special really happened with Oberon that time. Unless you talk about the magic trial. So yes. When it comes down to it, we do have a choice now. We have been doing this for almost 1.5 hours. And hopefully I have been answering correctly. I've been doing good. I hope. I probably missed a lot. Hopefully not. I have Jinso here that will be filling in and helping me fill in the blanks and stuff. So, should we continue a little while longer? At least for the Larp to be ending? Or should we just end it right here? And focus more on the Larp events, or the Larps per se, or in the next stream? That will be on Saturday. Come on people, I want your opinion on this. What do you guys think? Let's move over to intermission stream. Water. If you want to. We can talk a little bit more about the events that is happening during LARP. And what Oberon was doing on that part. Because we are talking about how he and what people he met during that LARP as well. It would be a good idea. Get a little bit more of an insight of what happened. Hit me up when. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Maybe just making sure that we have everything. Now we have done the beginning of the story. Where Oberon began. All the way up to where we are now. Which is the very first LARP that began 2019. I know that many people may have missed what happened, but don't worry, I will be also publishing this on my YouTube. So why not finish it? The thing is, I'm starting to feel groggy. That means I'm getting tired. I have only slept 2 hours today, and when I started to close my eyes, I started to almost fall asleep. So, I would love to finish it now. To finish everything. But I also feel like there's a lot of details. Oh my god, 2 hours? Well, almost. Yeah. It was kind of hard to go to bed. Okay, scream at you. Well, we don't really need that, But thank you. I do appreciate the help, and so I kind of have to have that in my. There's. Christmas is coming and everybody jumping. New York to San Francisco and interest in the disco and interest in the turning. Or if you like the burning, or if you like the party, then I'll enjoy your body. Okay, I can agree to at least do the first LARP and the story, or the summer story that came with that. Now, if you guys want to, I have an idea. Slap his face. My god, you guys are violent. Stop it. Jesus, why are you violent today? Jesus Christ. Well, I know who I'm gonna be killing tonight. Because tonight, I may be streaming tonight. I'm gonna prepare everything for that. Bjorn does it. Yeah. So, I'm gonna be playing Protocol... what's it called? Lockdown Protocol. With Moss and 5 others. So that's gonna be fun. Oh, yes. It's gonna be so much fun tonight. So, here's the thing. Should we end it here? Maybe there will be another hour of this. What do you guys think? But we will only do the first LARP and the summer story that comes with it. What do you mean, Moss? What are you talking about? Yes, it will be good. Tell the story. I can't do all of it at the same time. That would be super fucking long stream. I think I will be able to do it next week. Tonight will be fun. Yes. I will not be able to do it all, but at least this LARP time. No, Yinso, no! But yeah, at least talk a little bit more about LARP. So, if you want to join in on now, Yinso, it will be the time. Bad, Yinso, bad. Okay, let's join in on there. Going into the penthouse there. One sec, making coffee. No problem. So yes, tonight will be a night of fun. I'm going to the movies in an hour. You are? Right, you're gonna be seeing Sonic. Excited? Are you excited for it? Ah, yes. I definitely want to see Sonic 3 as well. Here in the mission screen, we are focusing on just relaxing a bit, because as I said, Hello. How you doing, Yinzo?
Hello.
So,
Ignore my stupid noises.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna begin to go into what happened at the first time we get to the LARP, so to say. Let's switch over to live scene. I can tell you what Oberon and a lot of different what happened in Brig. This is what the start of the LARP was happening for us. All of a sudden, a lot of outsiders started to come to Brig, and Brig has never really seen so many new people, and they didn't even know why are they there.
I think we had like, if you talk about like new people coming and going, I think we had the saying like once every 2 years or something like that, and they just came and did some trading and then left.
Yeah.
So we didn't have much like movement, so to speak,
No.
in that small village.
Yeah, so it was like very, very quiet little village, so to say.
Yeah. And just for clarification's sake, my role is one of the original villagers who lived in that village
Yep.
from the beginning.
Yeah. I think it's only Bjorn sort of left there now.
Yeah, everyone else has left because of the newcomers.
Yeah. Because the circulating of rumors said that Alma, who is a deity in the Alma faith, who is actually the big main deity of that faith, actually had her burial ground close to the village of Brig. That's why it was so many people drawn to it.
At least people from that religion.
Yeah. And many others, some who was not part of the religions, maybe be from the Coldlands, started to get more interested about Brig. I think it was like more of a political scale who it belonged to as well.
I mean, some part like ownership, some part, oh no, the Alma faith is pushing like a campaign into that village. We have to like push our own people there so we can like protect it, or like don't give them a foothold in our country.
Yeah. What happened then was, like, as I said, many outsiders came to this village. And it started to create a little bit of unrest, because as many newcomers came in there, they started like, they have no government here. Like, what is going on? Like, who are we turning to talk to people? Like, they didn't have a council, they didn't have much of the new stuff that many people were used to.
No, this would be like really, really undeveloped piece of land. I mean,
Yeah.
not the land per se, but the village.
Yeah.
And the society was really undeveloped.
Yep.
We didn't really. We had like coins and money.
Yeah.
But we lived more with like trading it with each other and helping each other out, because we were like close-knit village.
Yeah.
Only like 15, I think.
Yeah.
People living there.
Yeah.
10 or 15, around there.
Yeah.
So it was more like we help each other. Screw money.
Yeah. And through, many more people also of the magic variety also came, because there was actually there where they had been told to start to gather, because apparently the magic underneath them, there are magic that are transparent everywhere around the world, but the most so-called brightest or so-called thickest mana veins is right under Brig, which also says that it's time to delve deeper into like the magic and contact the guardian of magic there. Many magic people was both drawn but also called there.
Yeah, this was before my magical time.
Yes, it was.
Old school mages.
Yes. The old school mages was like over 25 people.
Were you that many in the beginning?
Yep, we were a lot of people.
And these past few years, we've been like 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
3 at most at the time.
Yeah.
So, the days that was during Larp was tension everywhere. Oberon, he didn't really care. He was there, like, new places, good to explore, fun.
For you.
He became friends with an elf, a high elf, and another mage. The high elf was also called Mel, strangely enough. Meladin, I think her name was.
Oh yeah, that guy. I remember him.
That girl.
Girl.
There was another high elf as well. It was the mage, but the one he grew closer to more between those two was actually the Melandin.
Oh yeah, they were the. Oh yeah, I'm confusing myself. Okay, yeah. Continue.
So he started to gain more friendship with her, and he started to talk about stories from the stars that really intrigued many people. And he started to slowly, but very sturdy, gain trust among the townspeople. Because he didn't have any agenda, and people started to see that as well. Even among many soldiers that came up to Brig, they also saw Oberon as, like, who is this guy? Like, what is his deal? The thing is, he didn't have a deal. He was just there. He was just there being happy. So many people started to, like, either, like, avoid him, like, we don't need to have any business with him, or they were like, yeah, he's no danger, it's fine. And through the rest of that LARP, it was like a little bit tension here and there, and unfortunately, the newcomers that came, they broke up a treaty that the orcs had with the village.
Oh yeah.
So what happened then was that, let's see, what was it? The newcomers had attacked the orcs, and the orcs had a treaty with the village that they will not be attacking the village unless they get attacked first. Which they got because of the humans that came there, and unfortunately the rural villagers got blamed for it all, so the treaty was now gone.
Yeah.
So then started all of this, like, we need to create a council, we need to do this and this and that.
We tried at least. It didn't go that well. But
No. Yeah, you tried. That was very good in my opinion.
It worked for about 4 LARPs, I think.
Yeah.
Then stuff happened that you're probably gonna go into later.
Yeah. So there was nothing really special going on during that LARP, more than just the beginning of all the turmoil that was going on.
I mean, nothing really major happened the first time, but I think it was like purely out of the game. Everyone was feeling like each other. How far can we go? We don't know each other good.
Exactly.
We know each other. So nothing really major happened.
No.
Except some fighting, perhaps. But
yeah.
No, like big like events or whatever.
No. But then comes down to the point of the magic, the magic gathering, so to say.
The card game?
No.
I had to.
Yep. And what happened was that we talked everyone amongst ourselves. Oberon was still part of the Red Dragons, even though he didn't really indirectly help them. He was just doing his own thing.
Oh, I kind of forgot about those.
Yeah. So the day comes when it's time to become more so-called aware of who you are as a mage. So we all gathered, and the magic guardian appeared, and we went through the portal. We called it the portal where it was before.
Oh yeah.
And we went into a plane of pure magic and a little bit of chaos. But as long...
These memories are flashing back right now. This is awesome.
What do you say?
All these memories are flashing back right now. It's awesome.
Yeah. And then what happened was we went into a dome where we were all safe to move around a little bit. So we at least could make sure that what was it? As long as we are with the magic guardian in this rift, we will at least not be submitted to painful execution.
So not painful execution, just pain.
Well, not exactly. Because if you go outside the dome without the magic guardian allowing you to, you will be dead.
Oh.
So that's why it was like a big deal. Like, no one walks out without the magic guardian say so. So do you remember the wooden house X?
You mean the mirror house?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it, and not the first LARP, but I think it was like the second when you still
Yes.
used it.
Yes.
Me and my old clan member, like chieftain, you know.
Yeah.
We went down and looked at it inside because we were too curious to leave it alone.
Yeah, I know. We know. We actually heard you outside, so.
No, not that time. This was in the middle of the day. We actually walked into the house and looked inside it.
Okay. Oh, well, then was nothing really. There was nothing really going on there.
Yeah, our curiosity was a little bit too great, so we couldn't, like, you know, leave it unseen.
Yeah.
So I have seen the inside of it, at least.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
Yeah.
Mirrors everywhere.
So what happened then was, we were more or less on trial. We were supposed to see how much weighed out the other, so to say. Good or bad. And of course, many did actually succeed. There was one who was like really scared and unfortunately in pure panic went outside the dome and died.
But was this like a player character or an NPC?
I think it was more like to scare us really, so it was more like an NPC really, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was that, but I'm not really sure.
You can never know unless you ask, and that's just unnecessary.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everyone had to do a test. We all grabbed a mirror that was in front of us. Either light or darkness. They were the ones who represented your soul. So what we did, that we needed to break the mirror that represented our soul, so we could let the magic sweep in. I usually say that like some of us actually spread it out so they just let it out from us. And with the new knowledge, you just gain more and more power. Yeah.
Those rituals hurt us.
It really hurt like hell.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Oberon was the only elementalist. He became the first fire elementalist at Larp. The only elementalist at Larp at that time.
Oh yeah.
He became the one solely alone elementalist. There were so many like mind mages. It was a lot of conjurer mages. There was a lot of witch masters, necromancers, and blood magic users.
Wait, first, yeah, it was 2 necromancers, I think. And then I know, because I talked to him like a few years later, he switched to another school.
Yeah.
Because he didn't enjoy sharing that school with someone else. And then that last someone like hasn't left the LARP but are only there on occasion.
Yeah. So what happened after that? That when everyone was done, we were shown a path to go back through the portal. Thanks to the Guardian, we were able to at least coexist for a little while in the rift, since we now have magic. But we needed to be careful because we were weak now. We have opened up the soul, broken the soul, so the magic can seep in and seep out. Oberon specifically had a very hard time because he was driven a little bit more about revenge against his father, because he needed to gain more power so he could beat his father, because his father is a very powerful mage. So he started to, like, his body started to warm up more and more, being very warm, heated almost, and he did all he could to calm his boiling fire inside of him. When he finally did, the little bit of anger that he had was like simmered down to like embers almost, which Oberon then realized that the fire, or more of the elements, really do goes into the power of both emotions as well, if you can let the magic get out of control. That's why you must always be a little bit of sane in your mind, in many different reasons though.
This explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, why I'm having trouble maintaining my composure.
Yeah, especially now when so many people die all the fucking time.
Yeah, it doesn't really help at all.
Nope, it doesn't at all.
That's the fun part.
For those who doesn't know, Jinso here plays a character called Bjorn, who is a necromancer.
I get my power from like death and deadly wounds and stuff like that. So whenever people are like screaming in pain and, you know, dying from blood loss and stuff like that, I enjoy life. This is really hard to act out, but it's fun as hell.
I can fully understand that.
I mean, trying to act happy and, you know, like enjoying the ambience when people scream in pain after battle and call for the healers and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel kind of wicked doing it, but at the same time, it's fun.
Yeah, I fully understand that.
That is also a wicked part.
Yeah. So Oberon had a little bit of a problem in himself that he needed to fix. What was his purpose now? Like, he felt like he still needed to make sure that his father was paid for what he did. But he can't go after his father now. He's not strong enough. He needed to do something, but he couldn't do anything. That was a little bit of heartbreaking for him. He needed to save his mother. Sup. So then he continues after everything with Larp is now over. It's a little bit of turmoil going on at Brig at the moment, because so many people is here and so many people make yet to come. What are they gonna do now? Oberon, he decides to go on journey. First, he was gonna travel back to his master in Varesia, tell him that he is now a level 1 mage. He's now formally acknowledged by the Magic Guardian as someone who has magic now. So his master set him on a course through all of the summer to travel to distant part of both Velaris and different parts, however you want to travel. But you need to get in more contact with nature and the elements that are around you. You may only be having focus of one element, that is true, but taking knowledge from all sides of the elements spectrum is the most important thing for an elementalist.
Now you're starting to sound like Uncle Iroh.
I know.
Just saying.
I know.
That you take inspiration from that dude, and that is
Yes.
Yeah. He's an awesome character. He
Yeah.
succeeded so well in doing.
Yeah. And I'm trying to put more Oberon into like an Iroh character, like being powerful but even gentle enough.
You're gonna nickname yourself the Dragon of the West.
Yeah, maybe so. Or maybe
Hey, I'm the dragon here.
or maybe the Phoenix of the West.
I mean, I have been wanting to like try and implement so that people who actually. We can talk about this later. Continue your story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So through all of the summer, he then traveled to different parts of Velaris to see what kind of forest or kind of energy that is flowing through the earth. It's hard for him to get in more deeper touch since he feels more of the magic through fire, but the mana underneath the earth is just that, it's underneath the earth. So he needs to like focus his mind more better, and that's what he's training all of summer. After that LARP, he was gonna be focusing his sort of like his magic sense, sort of, so he can actually feel the mana flow much better beneath him.
Oh, you need to train me in that sometimes as well because I have a problem.
Yeah, there's definitely, because when it comes down to it, we all see the magic through different means, right?
Yeah. I mean, I see it in Death and Decay, you see it in Fire, your apprentice see it in mud.
But you can see this. This is what Mel has the upper hand because he is an Earth Elementalist. He has more connection with the Earth and with the freaking mana.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be getting him to focus a little bit more on his magic studies than doing thievery.
I'm gonna get him to focus on the theory part next time, but I won't tell you that in game at least.
Yeah, but you can talk to him more like in that LARP part, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what he did through all of the summer until it was time to go back for the autumn LARP.
Yeah, that's actually when stuff started to happen.
Yeah, there was actually then, people started to come out more and more creatures of the night started to even come out as well. And I'm talking about the drows, the dark elves, so to say.
Yeah, we got our first werewolf then too.
Yeah, we got the first werewolf then.
First vampire attack, or was that in the spring?
No, that was actually autumn.
When the woodchopper's daughter got bitten by the big flying snake.
Right, yeah, that was at spring LARP. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was spring.
Yeah.
Stupid woodcutter fan. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of missed those though.
Yeah, same here actually. So yeah, that's what all happened really. Like with the next part, it's gonna be more intriguing, so to say. It's gonna be happening a little bit more. But that's gonna be for next time, which is gonna be next Saturday.
To be continued.
To be continued. I think we're gonna be covering a lot next time.
Yeah, if you need someone to like talk to and have company here, I'm always up for like helping you remember stories and stuff.
Yes, you are definitely gonna come back because we are gonna be covering a lot of LARP stuff going on then.
Yeah, I still have some really good memories from specifically that LARP.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the first time you and I actually started playing with each other. That
Yes.
sounded wrong.
I know. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, LARPing with each other. And we lived together that time.
Yeah. Because
I and other people shared a house.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, there was that part.
Yeah, it was that time.
Yeah. There was so many rumors going on as well. But that's gonna be for the next time.
Yeah. Oh my god, I just biggest one. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to thank Jinso for the little bit here to helping me remember and keeping me on track.
Anytime, mates.
Yep, so next time, 5 p.m. next week.
Yeah, shouldn't be a problem.
Good. I'll see you around, Jinso.
Yeah, same though, mates.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And for us here, it's time for us to end this live stream, for now at least. We're gonna be continuing this LARP story, background story, next time, which will be on Saturday. Yes. We will be going through a new game on Monday. You will see then. But tomorrow, I'm gonna be free because I'm gonna be having a little bit of a hangout here and there, talking to people, talking to someone, and I do hope that you guys enjoyed this time we had here. I will be sending you guys over to... Let's send you guys over to Asian Diva. We haven't raided her in a long ass time. Raid Asian Diva _ Yeah, I think that's the one. Asian Diva right there. We get yes! Subraid. Subraid. And follow raid. I never know the commands. No, but I will be back. Maybe I will not be streaming tomorrow, or tonight, should we say. But I will be here. You can check out Moss, you can check out Brittany and Quacky. They may be streaming tonight as well. We will be back with this on Saturday, and I will of course be back here on Monday for a story-driven game. So thank you guys so much for coming in here, and thanks to you so much to Jinso for helping me, keeping me on track when it comes to LARP. It helps a lot. Oh my god, don't... Ah, too bad. It doesn't work, I don't have sound alerts here. But don't worry, I will be using it next time, I promise. So, until I see you guys next time, stay safe now everyone, and I do hope that your pillow's always gonna stay safe, and it's always gonna be staying warm, no, not warm, but cold, and always, remember, stay safe and stay healthy, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye!